Back again with another music video reaction. My name is Josh. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you click the thumbnail, you're here to check out a brand new artist to me, but I have had a lot of recommendations to check this artist out based off of a couple of the other songs and topics that I've been talking about and reacting to, as they seem relatively prevalent in today's society, especially for the vast majority of all of us that it kind of deals with. And that's just kind of where we are economically and not necessarily politically, because honestly, I don't care about politics. I feel like something that's kind of gotten to a point where the only purpose it really has now is to divide us and keep the people in power. But it is good to see that there are a lot of more artists, maybe even not a lot more, but I'm realizing that there's a lot more artists out there that have been talking about the subject or are talking about it, and it's gaining more traction, and hopefully more people are catching on that these are maybe some of the real issues that affect the average person, not as much as the big, more socially facing forward issues that the media and maybe some of the elites want us to really fight about and think that that's more important, when in all reality, the fact that we're not really able to, make a living wage, pay for different things that are, normal living things, which might be considered more important, I think, than a lot of other things that people argue and bicker about a good bit. So that's all subjective, but for me, that's really what it's kind of come down to. And what you guys did recommend was there was an artist named Samson that has come out, and I believe he is a rapper from what you guys have told me briefly in the comments that you've left me, and that he's actually been around for a little bit, but I've never heard of him, and he just released a new song, and it was called Price Hike, which kind of seems right in line with what we were just talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and check that out. See what he's talking about. All right, let's get it.
I made a little money off of rap, but not enough to make me rich, yet I'm still backpacking. I made a little money off of rap, but not enough to make me rich, I'm in the same tax bracket. I made a little money off of rap, but not enough to make me rich, I mean it too. I just say that to say that I'm still down here in the real world, feeling everything with you, and I'm fucking pissed. I got a big bone to pick with all these motherfucking activists, all these rappers and actors and notable figures that act like they know how bad this shit is. I love being lectured and ridiculed about the fact that I don't have an electric vehicle, tweeting about climate change from your private plane while I pay an arm and leg to get some fuel. Thank God my car doesn't take premium. I'd have to get a second job just to break even. Then they cranked it up $3 and brought it down $2, and I'm supposed to be happy and act like I'm proud of you. And to add to injury, I got Kamala telling me I need to go electric and I have to act quick, and all it's gonna cost me is $50,000. Well, guess what? I don't have that, bitch. And even if I did, I would buy a big truck just to rub it in your face, because I don't give a fuck. I would put a big smokestack on the top of it and blow black smoke every time I open throttle it. And it's not because I hate the climate, it's because I don't trust you or the things you wish me to do. I would cut the floor out of the bottom of my car and start running like the Flintstones before I listen to you. I hate when people tell me they would rather not talk about it because they don't like to get political. I cannot afford supply shortages and high mortgages. It's not politics, all this shit is literal. That's money draining out of your bank account to make it work, to the point that it breaks you down and makes you hurt. Paying insane amounts, taken out of your savings. They promised that they were gonna save you. How? They made it worse. We should be a flourishing nation, not a country with soaring inflation. There's nothing more infuriating than the fact that nobody takes blame for this poor demonstration. Like, what? It just happened like that? Nothing to do with your administration. You blamed it on Putin and called it his price hike, but shit was going up way before the invasion. Now how does that work? Really, I'm baffled, sick of being treated like a stupid blind asshole. Next thing I know, I'm gonna turn on CNN and they'll be trying to tell everybody that Putin time traveled. Wouldn't put it past them, crooked little rats, so easily and spineless, always looking for a snack, searching for the next reputation to tear apart and trash when the views that you have and theirs aren't exact. They feed you bullshit and expect you to eat it, then they read you bullshit and expect you to believe it, like everything that you witnessed isn't for certain or real, and you're just supposed to forget all your personal experiences. Like all the money that you spent, you still have the shit, you didn't really spend any of it, you just imagined it. All the cash that you wasted on behalf of this inflation didn't happen, it's just a figment of your imagination, and it's all gone.
Okay, well, maybe I understand why that was recommended to me, because that was literally talking about, he said so many things I was talking about prior to the video of, again, and I'm guilty of it, of saying the same thing. Like, I don't like to get political because it's, again, you don't want to be offensive and you don't want to be on the wrong side, but again, that's literally the point of politics, is it's forcing us to be divided. And like he was saying, it's not politics, it's just real life shit is really what people should be concerned about. And oh man, I don't think he said anything wrong, which is the thing that's kind of agitating, because you really would think that, you would hope that what he was saying would be just completely and utterly wrong, and that, the government and the people that we put into power and elect into positions would really have our benefit in mind, and that's just not the case. And I'm not going to say I'm starting to get more agitated. I think I'm just more upset that the reality of life is that people are just kind of crappy, especially the ones that are in power, and what people will do to keep that. And again, even like he was saying, like, oh yes, they've dropped a couple of dollars on the gallon of gas, but it's already $3 higher than it was prior to this. Then it is very interesting. Very interesting tactics, I guess, is what it would be. And I don't know if the same thing that's been just going on forever and we're now just realizing it more, or if I'm just realizing it more, or if certain groups or artists are. I mean, it's interesting, but it is very, very true. And honestly, the whole thing about getting the big truck just to spite somebody, I can understand that completely. I mean, as humans, we don't really like being told we have to do things. Most people really don't, especially if there's not a really good, valid reason, and especially if we're told in a very smug manner that you need to do this. It's for the best. It's for the environment. Like, the environment is awesome. I definitely want to work with that as well. But I've also seen a lot of things that say electric cars actually are worse for the environment and the production of them. When that gets brought up, people just start to turn away from it. I mean, there's a lot of weird things that happen out there. Not to say one thing's right or wrong, other than the fact that I do believe that we pay so much of our earnings to I don't know what. So it is kind of frustrating. Actually, it's very frustrating. But I like the fact that we got another artist out here that's speaking the truth. And I can't wait to see the second part of this, and probably will come out pretty quickly. Also, Samson, the artist, are very clever. I mean, his rapping to me sounded a lot like, I think when he first came on, it reminded me a lot of NF. Different sound than NF, but he sounded very similar. And, of course, I just love the hairstyle. It was awesome. Very simple video, very to the point, very succinct. So let me know more about Samson specifically and what you thought about the song, because I think he's on the right path here. So don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you would. That'd be fantastic. And as always, you're awesome. Peace out.